first grade, it's Miss Davidow. Yesterday, we learned about all the different types of letters. Remember, letters are something that we use to communicate with each other. Communicating is when we get and share information. Let's remind ourselves what those different types of letters were. We learned about friendly letters, which are used to check in with friends. We talked about thank you notes, which sometimes you might get or give if somebody does something nice and you want to say thank you. Special occasion cards can be given on holidays or birthdays. We talked about invitations, like when you get invited to a fun birthday party. We talked about postcards, which are a way that people can show different places that they have been. Today we're going to focus on our friendly letter from Miss Nappy. I rewrote our letter on big paper so we can all read it together. Let's refresh our memory about what Miss Nappy said. March 24th, 2020. Dear Miss Davidow, how are you? I hope you are staying safe and healthy at home. I am in Long Island with my family. We've been watching lots of fun movies together. Please write back and tell me how you have been. Your friend, Miss Nappy. Wow, that was a great letter. We can see that there are so many different parts of this letter. Today, we're going to learn about all the different parts and what they're called. Let's start at the top of our letter. What do we see? We see that there's a date at the top of our letter. This is called a heading. It's called a heading because it's at the head of the paper. We can remind ourselves that this is called our heading because our head is at the top of our body, just like the heading is at the top of our page. Next, it says, Dear Miss Davidow. This is called our greeting. Think about when you walk into school in the morning. What do you say to your friends and teachers? You say hello. You say, how are you? Our greeting is at the top of our page when we're saying hi and we're saying who we are talking to. In this letter, Miss Nappy wrote, Dear Miss Davidow, because this letter was addressed to me. Next, we see a lot of information. We see questions. We see Miss Nappy telling us about what she's been doing. All of this is called the body of our letter, okay? We can think that our body is where we want to put most of our information, okay? Then, at the very end of our letter, it says, Your friend, Miss Nappy. Where she wrote your friend, that's called our closing. She wanted to close out our letter by saying that she's our friend. Lastly, she wrote her name, Miss Nappy. When you write your name, this is sometimes called a signature. Think about if you've ever been asked to sign something. You usually write your name. Just like when you're doing any kind of worksheet, you want to include your name on your paper. So these are the different parts of a letter. We have a heading at the top of our paper. That's our date. We have our greeting, where we're learning who is going to be reading this letter. In this case, it's me. We have our body, which is where we get all of our information. We have our closing, and we have our signature. That's where we can say, from Miss Nappy. So, friends, I thought it would be so much fun if we wrote a response to Miss Nappy's letter. So, to write my letter, I had to get some materials. I got some pens, pencils, markers, and I picked out purple paper because Miss Nappy's favorite color is purple. The fun thing about writing letters is that you don't have to use plain white paper or lined paper. You can use colorful paper, pens. You can even use glitter if you want. You can use anything because letters are a way that we can be creative. All right, so let's think, where do we need to begin with our letter? Today, I'm just going to use a black Sharpie so we can all see it very clearly. I remember from our example that we need to put our heading at the top. So I'm going to put that there to remind me. A great heading for my letter would be the date. What's today's date? Today is April 1st, 2020. Awesome. Now, let's see. I need to include a greeting. The greeting is where I'm going to say who I'm addressing my letter to. We know that we're writing back to Miss Nappy, so I'm going to write, Dear Miss Nappy. Awesome. So I have my heading and my greeting. Now I'm ready for the body. Remember, the body is where we're going to be putting most of our information in our letter. So let's think. The first thing I want to say to Miss Nappy is happy first day of April. So I'm going to leave a little space right here so we can see separation between our greeting, the person that we're writing to, and where our body begins. So I'm going to start it right here. I made a little indent, and right here's where I'm going to begin my words. So I'm going to say, happy first day of April. I made the A in April capitalized because that is a month. Next, I'm going to thank Miss Nappy for writing to us because I thought that was just so sweet. So I'm going to say, thank you for your letter. Now, I'm going to respond to one of Miss Nappy's questions. In her letter, she said, how are you? So I'm going to tell her that I am doing well. She also told me in her letter where she is right now. She's in Long Island with her family. So in my letter, my response to Miss Nappy, I'm going to share with her where I am. I am in Queens with my husband. Great. Now I'm going to share with her what I've been doing because that's another question that she asked in her letter. Please write back and tell me how you have been. So I've been well and I've been doing lots of things at home. Let's share those things with Miss Nappy. We have been cooking a lot. Have you been cooking a lot with your family at your home? I know that when you're home sometimes, you need things to do to keep busy. I've been experimenting with different recipes in the kitchen. I've been having a lot of fun with that. Next, I'm going to tell Miss Nappy something that I noticed. This month is your birthday. Wow, did you guys know that? Miss Nappy's birthday is on April 15th. That is so exciting. So I want to ask her if she has any big plans for her birthday. Do you have any plans for your special day? Remember, I just asked Miss Nappy a question. What comes at the end of a question? You got it, a question mark. Great job, friends. Now, just like Miss Nappy did for our letter, I'm gonna ask that she writes back. So I'm gonna say, please write back. I hope she does. This is so much fun. It's almost like a teacher pen pal. Awesome. But I know that I'm not done yet. I still have 2 parts of my letter that I need to include. I need to include a closing. For my closing, I'm going to write from. That way she knows that we're at the end of my letter. Now I'm ready for my signature. Miss Nappy's signature is Miss Nappy because that's her name. So I'm not going to write from Miss Nappy because Miss Nappy's not my name. My name is Miss Davidow. So I'm going to write from Miss Davidow. Awesome job, friends. Let's see. We have our heading, which was our date at the head of our paper. We have our greeting, Dear Miss Nappy. We have our body with all of our information. We have our closing, where we said from, and we have our signature, our name. My name is Miss Davidow. Great. Today, your job is to try to figure out if you can label all of the different parts of a letter. Remember, if you forget, you can always watch this video again to remind yourself. Good luck, friends. I hope you have a great day.